Mitt Romney has a book coming out, and it's a doozy, written by McKay Coppins, who's at The Atlantic, all about Mitt's take on what's happened, the, as I call it, 3-week-old congealed cheese that his party has become. Or is it poutine? I don't remember. The curdled milk, the Marjorie Taylor Greene that his party honestly has devolved into. And I'll say a few things. I wasn't a big Mitt Romney fan back in 2012, criticized the hell out of him. I give credit where credit's due. I think he's wrong on most policies, but he was the only one to vote to convict Trump on his first impeachment. He did speak out sometimes, often against Trump, but he didn't speak out enough against his whole party. And that's the problem, is so many of these guys, Jeff Flake and Bob Corker and others, they leave and then they give us their best stuff.
Once again, things that could have been brought to my attention yesterday!
Then they let us on the inside to know how truly pathological most of the people they've surrounded themselves with now are. And so I'll give Mitt Romney credit for this. It's before a presidential election. It's important, but I really wish the guy had done this while he was in office. It could have been more helpful, but let's get to the good stuff. Here's what Mitt Romney had to say. Who should we start with? Let's start with Ron DeSantis. This will shock you. Quote, "There's just no warmth at all." And on him posing for selfies with voters in Iowa. He looks like he's got a toothache.
Oh, what is that? An icy? Yeah, that's probably a lot of sugar, huh?
It's actually a pretty apt description. More, he's much smarter than Trump, you might point out. DeSantis is real smart. Do you want an authoritarian who's smart or one who's not smart? We've had that debate. More, I realize there's a peril in having someone who's smart and pulling in a direction that's dangerous. I do think DeSantis, because he is smart, is very dangerous. He lacks Trump's charisma, so he may not get people to go along with him, but an authoritarian president can do a lot, as we know, without Congress. But let's go back to what Mitt Romney said. Newt Gingrich, everybody loves Newt Gingrich, even a couple different wives. A smug know-it-all, smarmy and too pleased with himself. Yes, and he thinks he knows a hell of a lot more than he does. Ted Cruz, this could take up a whole book itself, but he kept this frightening, scary, a demagogue. All incredibly true. The man believes in nothing but power. Mike Huckabee, I like that he gives the description I've often given here. A huckster, a caricature of a for-profit preacher. I've often asked that question here. The guy was a preacher, and then he went to politics. He's been in every area of life where you can demagogue and get people to just donate money to you for doing nothing but lying. I don't understand why he didn't go the Joel Osteen way, but I digress. Bobby Jindal, if you remember who he was, a long time ago, seriously, like a decade ago, right? He was governor and destroyed Louisiana and then ran for president. A twit. That's about right. He's a twit. Rick Santorum, sanctimonious, severe, and strange. Nice alliteration, all true. Rick Perry. Republicans must realize that we have to have someone who can complete a sentence. Well, if you go into the Republican comment sections at most blogs, or let's say on Twitter, you realize that you're pushing it, folks, if you want Republicans to complete a sentence. I would think this would be a concern for Mitt, because I don't think any Republicans have the ability to read his book, even if they were going to. But I don't know that this is written for them. Maybe the Beltway press, the moderates, the both sidesers, and maybe some people like us too. On John Kasich, lack of thoughtfulness, lack of attentiveness, ego. No wonder he and Chris Christie spark. Actually quite good. People don't know that Kasich was a very conservative governor here in Ohio. And then, I give him all the credit in the world for rejecting Trump and endorsing Biden, which is something, by the way, Mitt Romney should have done and still can do in 2024 and make an enormous difference, particularly among the Mormon population, where he's quite active. And by the way, a lot of Mormons in Arizona and Nevada, two very key swing states. But with Kasich, always was a jerk, always thought he knew better than everybody. He still does. You see him on CNN now, and he's saying Democrats are somehow responsible for bailing Republicans out in the House. The fact that they literally cannot choose a speaker. This party has sort of devolved. It's like that poster of evolution, of ape to man, except for the opposite direction, to the point where they're all, very few are not deeply pathetic and clownish figures. Let's let Jake Tapper here sum it all up, speaking to a Ohio representative, Mike Turner, who once pretended to be a moderate. Here you go.
I hope you don't take this personally, but do you guys have any idea how clownish you look? Well, Jake, I'm very fond of saying that Congress is a lot like high school, but even more so.
I said that to Congressman Womack last week, high school, and he said that that's an insult to high school students. It's more like junior high. Congressman Turner, Chairman Turner, good to see you. I hope you guys pick a speaker sometime soon.
Oh, and if that's not enough for you, then get ready for future Republican House Speaker. And I can't believe that this interview actually happened. Here, watch this.
I think most of the GOP candidates actually are mentioning it at the very least.
But
Trump,
they're not explaining it.
DeSantis, yeah.
They're not explaining it, are they? No, they're just saying the deep state. We got to drain the swamp. Yeah, it's the deep state. Oh, it's the deep state. It's the boogeyman, basically. And it's like, well, unless you understand the root of the problem, and if you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it fully. I just explained it to you in 2.5 minutes. Okay? And I can also explain to you how we can change it in 2.5 minutes. Okay?
Yes, Jacob Chansley or whatever his name is. Were we supposed to play dress up for this conversation? No? Oh, we're supposed to be mature adults and, not get into our Marvel outfits or what have you. Okay, that's the seriousness of it. That's the direction the Republican Party is headed in. There's nobody left. And Mitt Romney leaving is just going to make it worse. Guys, thanks for watching this. If you like what we do here, please subscribe. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on your notifications. We've been growing quickly, and that will be great for you to do that. You'll know when our new videos are coming out. You can find me at Cliff Schecter on Twitter, Elon Musk's crazy little experiment. I'm at Cliff D. Schecter on Threads, which seems to be growing. Follow me there. I would just say, make a difference today.